All right. Just wanted to kind of get this started. Welcome everybody for coming in. We've got a good crowd here. I want to start off by just telling Donald Brown congratulations. It sounded like you guys had a whale of a sale. I do believe you guys can unmute yourselves if you want to. Maybe you can't. I'm not 100% sure right now. Um, I'll have to, if you raise your hand, I can do it or allow you to unmute yourselves. But congratulations on a good sale, Donald. We will go. We're just kind of going to go through the catalog. Hopefully, everybody has a semen catalog excuse me, at hand, and the bull cell catalog. We'll mainly talk about the semen catalog stuff tonight, and then we'll get into the uh, the spring sale coming up for next weekend. Um, and we're going to be interactive. I think the sales team is here to talk about them. Aaron Rasmussen will be in shortly. Kurt Schenkel's here, and Jared is here as well too. So we'll talk about the Bulls, kind of the highlights. You got any questions? I think all the contracts have went out for 2025. You guys would have seen a little bit of adjustments on the contracts. We increased the percentage, the commissionable percentage. We did that because we'd taken out a base price for basically a production cost. It kind of gets us more in line of what Eurus does with the reps there. But dollar for dollar, it really shouldn't affect you much at all. We'll talk the pricing structure is pretty much the same as last year on page 2 of the catalog. We didn't change any of that at all. I do want to put a note for you guys, the bottom right corner of page 3, kind of a powerful message as far as what the semen catalog is when you look at the average dollar profit ranch and feeder. For and that was the stabilizer numbers versus what we're going to sell for 2025 bulls through all of our retail bull sales. The average is how much different it is in the semen catalog and how powerful the set of bulls we have through this catalog. And Kurt and Jared and Lee, feel free to pipe in anytime. I know I've received quite a few questions on the blends already this year. I think Aaron can speak probably as well as anybody about it. The blends getting used on beef herds. The customer satisfaction has just been huge. I know one of Aaron's herds got a little over 80% conception using the blends. We've got blends for you. We've got stuff we can sell you. We're a little bit more limited than we were last year. But I do still have those red carrier blends that have a slight chance of throwing red calves if you use it on cows that have the red gene. 1 out of the 4 bulls in those blends did carry the red gene. And I have 2 of those blends. One that'll be a little bit more taller frame, more growthy type of blends, and the other ones will be, moderate, more moderate set of bulls in the blends. So talk to me if you guys have questions on blend, need to order blends. Kurt and Jared and Aaron have all 3 sold some blends and have some customers that have used it. But just talk to us. We'll help you go in the right direction on that. We do still have semen. We made that Cavaney's maternal blend last year. I think I still have 2,000 units on it. That was a pretty fun blend to make. And there's, we talk about bulls that were in that, and mostly the blends, I'm not going to really talk about what bulls are in them. But that Cavaney's maternal, we're selling it at $18, and there's Capitalist himself is in that blend as well as EMT. Both of those bulls are in the catalog as individuals, at $30 a unit bulls, and you can use them in the blend at the 18.
Who else was in that, Russ?
It was a capital. I can't remember offhand. It was a capitalist grandson, and there were 2 other capitalist grandsons, I believe, if I remember right. Is that Kurt's nodding? Yes, I think that's right. 2 other capitalist grandsons were in that.
Do we know the semen code for? Can we look that?
2029.
Okay.
For XE229.
Okay. Thanks.
Yep. We did different write-ups. I'd like, I guess first off on this catalog, thank the people that helped us. I mean, the sales team did a wonderful job. I'll give a lot of the kudos. I think all of us guys would. The Jade and Jade Riley and Bryce White. Jade does all of our catalogs for the most part on these for the semen catalog and all of our ads. And she did a lot of things for this catalog to really knock things out of the park. We did come up with this kind of write-up. So we started out, what is dollar profit, dollar ranch, and dollar feeder. We tried to just make it a little bit more understandable for people, the customers to use, and to help tell the message a little better. We did do these top 10 lists. I thought they were a lot of fun. I know when the girls were working on it, they didn't think I'd like it at all, but I know how much work it took cutting all those bulls out. But it's neat to see them all as a snapshot on who those top 10 lists are and how they fit in. And like I said, we did it for ranch and feeder as well. You get into ranch, you get some Angus bulls and feeder as well too. And we did on the feeder, we did put them by breed. The number one stabilizer, number one Angus, and number one red Angus bull. And we'll talk about those bulls a little bit more in depth as we go. But kind of a fun deal for you guys. Have things a little easier at hand. So we get into the catalog. We started this year with Just Right as kind of our leadoff bull, Just Right Capitalist Spread. I mean, I realize those bulls are, they're both the Cavanese bulls. And Just Right was our number one seller last year. If I'm remembering offhand, I think he sold a little over 3,500 units last year. Kind of by far the number one bull. And for us guys, Mark's seen a bunch of these calves too. I mean, they're going to be the highlights in the spring sale. I was going through some today and just, randomly just looking at who was cool in the pen, and both of them that I seen were Just Rights. These calves are pretty neat, and we'll talk about some others that we've seen this year. Capitalist, we've still got, on Just Right, he is a Cavanese bull. I use him with heifers. I mean, he is a 3-star Cavanese bull. We had one of my customers, one of my good friends said, hey, I don't know if he's a sleep all night Cavanese bull, and we're not selling him as that way. I mean, for you guys, that know you shouldn't. And he had one that was a little bit bigger that had to come assist out of a heifer. And we, luckily, they had ran and Herd on the heifer, and she was a +6 birth weight. So you put a +6 birth weight, even with the -1.4, you're going to have some calving, bigger calves. So watch that with him. I mean, he's not asleep all night if you don't know what your heifers are. Capitalist. Go ahead, Lee.
Oh, I just was going to say, Russ, he does sire unbelievable thickness. I mean, it's just, and people are going to love that. And I think even seat stock people and club cap people could use him. I mean, he's a pretty nifty kind of bull, and doesn't surprise you with that thickness that he's not that kind of a Cavanese bull. So
exactly. I actually got pictures of the calf that we were talking about. I mean, you can literally eat dinner off of his table already at a week old. I mean, he is big top dude. So
Russ, I'd like to add that I have multiple customers who used him, on a scale back east, I'm going to say, on a large scale. And they also said exceptional vigor. Soon after birth, the cattle are born, the calves are born, and they did not have trouble. They came pretty easy, and the calves get up and get right going on the Just Rights.
Russ?
Thanks, yeah, Jared.
Yeah, also I'd like to add too, I've seen a lot of the females coming out of him, and man, I'll tell you what, very attractive, very beautiful females, and they're testing well too in DNA. So don't be afraid. He's a cow maker too.
Yeah. I think all you guys. I mean, we'll see a lot. We'll see Just Right coming pedigrees in our system for a long time. For a long time. Capitalist, not much more to say on him. You guys have used him. You've sold him. You've seen daughters. I mean, we're starting to see more and more of these new bulls come into our system that are out of Capitalist daughters. We'll talk about a bull coming up, Locomotive, that was a new addition to the sale. He's out of a Capitalist daughter that, man, you can't make a female any better. Kurt and I saw her, it's been a month ago now, Kurt, a little more. And I mean, what a phenomenal cow. And she, is in her working clothes and not got extra TLC, I would say. But I mean, phenomenal female. And we'll see that. I mean, we see a lot of bulls in the spring sale that are going to go back to Capitalist one shape or another, either out of some sons or some daughters. So. Minor judicial lawmaker, the minor, we've seen a lot of females. I mean, he's kind of, if Aaron was here, I don't think we could get him to stop talking about the minor females in Nebraska. And I know Kurt and Jared and I hear a lot about minor females in Nebraska from Aaron, and they are good. We've seen them, you guys have seen they make wonderful cows. Judicial, that's been a bull that, did come through the beef on dairy program. He is still in the beef on dairy program, making a lot of calves. And I don't know, Lee, do you want to touch base with these guys a little bit about how, I know we've harvested probably a lot of judicial calves at this point, and just, want to touch base on how that's been going at all, Lee?
Russ, I don't have that pulled together. I mean, I would tell you in general that our beef on dairy carcass information has been phenomenal, but I don't have it per se specifically on judicial. That'd be kind of cool to pull together. We sure could do that down the road for sure. Yeah.
And so we are getting DNA, knowing who the sires are on these calves, but we're, everybody was, I go back a little bit on the semen cattle, everybody kind of wondered, well, where's it at in January? Where's it at? And, we get the big run of the spring bull calves come through about the end of January. So we wait till that. And we just about got done, ready to roll heavily on the semen catalog. We did a big dump of beef on dairy calves into the system. And so it adjust the numbers up a little bit. And I mean, I can't remember, somebody could probably remember what judicial was last year, but once we dumped those beef on dairy calves, that's when he went to above 40,000 for profit. I mean, it really, the data's coming in and it's really, really good. So,
hey Russ, will you mention while we're going through some of the older bulls, if there is limited semen or where we're at with some of these, just so everybody knows where we're at with some of the bulls?
I don't have it in front of me, Kurt, but I will from memory if there's an issue one. Yeah, we can do that. Lawmaker was the judicial son that come out of the Loma sale in December. For any of you that was there or seen him, I mean, he was a phenomenal package. I want to say he was maybe it says that. I thought he was lot 6, if that's right.
He was lot 6, Russ.
Okay. I knew Rain Man would remember. Aaron's with us now. So lot 6 at Loma, phenomenal bull. I mean, he was a standout. I think all of us there, he was the top 2 bulls out of Loma are in our catalog from what we evaluated him as. So great judicial son. We'll see more of those coming out through the system. Aaron, you want to talk about Kadoka? He's kind of one of your favorites.
So the first thing I'll say is that it is in the works to have a new picture of that bull for next year's catalog. I know none of us love that picture, but I do have pasture pictures of the bull breeding heifers this last summer. He resembles more as a 2-year-old what he is siring in terms of phenotype, lots of guts, lots of rib shape, pretty moderate framed cattle with a lot of natural flushing ability. And that's not the feel we get from the picture that's in the catalog, right? So if anybody wants those pasture pictures to share with customers, I'd be happy to share those. I think Kurt has those too. Just contact us and we'll get you set up. But any of you guys that are going to be at the spring sale, you're going to get an eyeful of what Kadoka does well. And that's just what I talked about. Calving ease cattle with a lot of dollar ranch and maternal and balanced traits all the way across the board. I mean, there is a reason why he is our highest dollar profit bull in the semen catalog this year.
Aaron and I looked at baby calves a year ago, January, February, somewhere in there. I guess when the calves were just first hitting the ground, maybe end of February last year. And they are phenomenal calves, and they've grown up to be bulls in the sale for the spring sale. And I don't know, Mark answered too. These were some of our favorite calves coming into the spring sale. So you'll love them. He outbreeds himself, but and he adds the numbers, and he adds more phenotype than we've seen. So Las Vegas is kind of a unique deal. I mean, he's out of a capitalist son, that heritage son. We found, I don't know if we found him or Aaron and I fell in love with him at our sale in Alma, Nebraska. He was lot 5 for Alma, and Jerry Kuzier ended up buying this bull out of the Alma sale. I mean, he's at headquarters right now. I've been collecting him semen on him now, and he is. I mean, phenotypically, I don't know if we can make one phenotypically much better than he is. I mean,
The picture doesn't do him justice, Russ.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't, Lee. You've seen him here recently. The picture.
He's a showstopper. He's a showstopper.
If he has, good enough numbers and good numbers for us, but phenotypically he strides to the top. He is really cool.
Yeah. I think any of your customers who are really wanting phenotype, you can push that bull on them, and they're going to be really happy with them. And of course, he fills the rest of the star box up and does everything pretty well. So
the only place where we can't utilize that bull is at elevation. That's really the only big hole in his data.
Yep, for sure. Jericho, I mean, been in the catalog now a couple years. I mean, as long as just right. I think these Jericho calves in the spring sale, I've seen a handful of them, and I've been impressed with them in the spring sale. So, Aaron's probably been through as much as any of us has on those. So, they're gonna go ahead, Lee.
No, on a bull, it stands way out on Dollar Ranch too, and I think he's going to be legit that way, and has the calving yeast to go along with it. Pretty useful bull, really.
Yeah.
Yep.
Banker, been around, Capitalist Son. I mean, and there's guys that have used him quite a bit on some heifer projects, and he's, been very good for us on that standpoint too. So, and good bank of semen on him as well. So, this is kind of the heavy duty spread here. We do still have semen on heavy duty. Kurt and I saw him breeding cows there again a month and a half ago or so. Looks phenomenal out breeding cows. We did bring in another son, the locomotive bull that I was talking about a little bit ago when we started. He come out of Loma. He was lot 69 of Loma. He would have been the leadoff bull of the fall yearling bulls in Loma, and he's another one of those phenotype specimens that looks really, really neat. Lot of thickness, a lot of power to him. His disposition, he's a 3 at best. He's not mean. He's not run you out of the pen. I mean, he gets a little nervous at times if you're pushing him. I mean, he has been just a dream to collect and work, but you got to, I would protect him on disposition a little bit like heavy duties. You got to protect him there. But another bull that the numbers, the carcass numbers of feeders like heavy duty, that's how heavy duty was used for the carcass traits, and locomotive's going to be the same way. And, we got the 2 other heavy duty sons in there. Liberty Bell was one that we brought in off the spring sale, I believe, last year. And then Loading Dock as well came out of Loma as well. He was lot 1 out of Loma, I guess, wasn't he? So we brought 3 bulls out of Loma from last year. So Loading Dock was the other one. Just another one. I haven't seen him lately. He bred some cows for Leachman cattle in Wyoming. Phenomenal bull last time I saw him. You've probably seen him since, haven't you, Lee, coming out of cows? Or I haven't.
I haven't. They just picked him up, so I haven't seen him.
Okay.
I think he's up there. But I mean, look, I think we have more really low pap options this year than we've ever had.
Yep.
And I think that really suits the people that, if that matters to you, you got to have it. I would note, I think in general, we are moving lower on pap, and we do think that's correlated to the late feeding period death loss that happens in a lot of higher percentage Angus cattle, and so we're pretty keen on making a directional change, and we probably have as strong a pap offering as you can find anywhere, and tons of data behind it, more data behind it than even the Angus Association has behind their pap EPTs. So strong selling point.
Yep. Another, kind of fun page. I mean, the groomsmen's have been around for quite a while, but you get into Jesse James and the Kingpins and even the Jaguars. We've had the Jaguars for a couple of years, and then there's another bull with good phenotype. You can always tell a Jaguar son. I feel like they always have big ears, and I'm a big fan of big ears, and the Jaguars all look the same as far as that aspect goes. But a lot of good phenotype, really deep, soggy cattle. The Kingpins, I mean, I went through several bulls today for the spring sale, and I mean, the Kingpins stand out. I mean, they are very, very nice.
Yeah,
Kyle.
one of the best Lot 1 bulls in terms of sires that we've had, really. He's really, that's, we had a seminar the other day, and Jim Tomlinson used that book pretty heavily, and as he bought into him there at the Rex Ranch and said, boy, he said, those calves are really impressive. So, he's a neat breeding piece for sure.
Kyle, I've allowed you to unmute if you want to ask a question now. Kyle, did you need to ask a question?
Looks like he's still muted, Russ.
He has to unmute. I've allowed him to unmute. He has to unmute himself, though.
Okay, I think we lost him. Okay.
All right.
So can I make a point on that page 26 before we turn, Russ? I'm sorry.
Yes, sir. Nope, go ahead.
So for these new customers that are new to the system and maybe not wanting to break the bank, we have the two best $20 bulls in the industry, in Groomsman and Jesse James. Groomsman for cows, Jesse James for heifers. I sold a lot of Jesse James in my area last year. I've been getting calf reports from people. They absolutely love those cattle. They come easy, they pop, they've got muscle, they grow well. I mean, there's nothing to be scared of on those bulls. For $20 bulls, you're not going to find any better. And, the other companies don't have $20 bulls. That's a selling point that you can take to these guys and say, hey, this is the best value in the industry right now.
Yep. Kyle put his question in on Jaguars Pap. I mean, yes, he did drop. I still, for you, Kyle, in your area, I don't know if he's low enough that I'd push him very hard, but he has dropped a little, and that's just the more DNA and data we get turned in. Like Lee was saying, we have more data on Pap than the Angus Association does, and so that does adjust the bulls a little bit.
Yeah, I'll pull an average on him just to. I'll catch up with you there for a minute.
Okay.
Okay.
This is kind of one of my favorite spreads, and two couple bulls here. Kodiak we brought in, and he come out of which sale? Did he come out of, Aaron? Last year's spring sale.
Yep. Yeah.
And
he was lot 69.
That's right. And I mean, he was a beast. If any of you guys saw him last year, and when Mark, I remember when we were going through the picking, I fell in love with the bull immediately, and Aaron did too. And he didn't really go through our youth system. They did use him quite a bit in the cooperator deal, even though he really wasn't necessarily in the youth system. But a phenomenal bull. I mean, he is going to. Are really loving the. Aaron.
You're cutting out, Russ.
It's windy. Can you guys hear me now?
Yep.
Okay. Aaron, you've had a calf report on Kodiak, haven't you?
Yeah. Rieger's sent me a couple of pictures of Kodiak calves, and they are very, very stout, thick made, really long. I mean, built just like the bull is.
So.
Yeah, just to go back to. Sorry.
You got Jaguar?
Yeah, I just about got it figured out here. Just a second. There were 17 bulls that had Pap done it up at Loma, and they ended up averaging 44. So that's why he moved up. And nothing out of, well, I mean, there was a 57, a 63, and a 69. That's what hurt him. He had at the low end, he had a 35 and a 37. But but certainly on 17 head, that's why he moved up. So that's where that's coming from.
Sounds good. Thanks, Lee.
Yep.
EMT, another favorite. I know, Aaron, we've seen some calves that I think you got DNA'd back from using blends, wasn't it, Aaron? Somebody. had calves out of EMT that loved them. Was in the blend in the Cavanese maternal blend. Another bull that was, for the carcass was really what he's brought in for the beef on dairy. But we found a lot of good use out of him as the Doc's Remedy son. He has gotten hurt. We are pretty decent shape on semen on him, but he will not last forever. So everybody's that's seen him has loved the calves. Kremlin, another bull that we brought in out of a Loma sale 2 years ago, or a year and a half ago. He was one of the better low pap bulls come out of there and an outcross. I mean, he is half Angus, half Gelvy. We brought him in for a little bit more Gelvy, a little bit more continental influence coming into the system is why he was kind of brought in. Great option to use, low enough birth weight to use with good growth. I think, soggy's little or deeper soggy cows he'll probably work better on. He's a little bit taller, a little bit not as deep as I'd like a lot of the bulls, but a lot of good parts to him that'll add continental to you. Knockdown kickoff. The kickoff, I will say, and I'm digging into it deeper. We've had some conception rate issues on the kickoffs. We are looking into it. I'm getting some more semen reevaluated. And it's been kind of widespread. So if you're having somebody with conception problems, I'd say, maybe we'll steer you away from him for this year, but let us dig into that a little more. And if you got somebody interested, sure, let me know. There's just been a little bit of issues with conception rates on him.
Females looking great.
What's that, Jared? Sorry.
Females are great out of him. I've seen a couple of females out of him too. They're good.
Good. We get to the reds, starting in the reds on the stabilizers. Jackson, we've seen him. He keeps coming back, and man, he just looks good all the time. He is by far, I think all of us have seen him several times, and he is our standout Red Bull again. He's not in that first leadoff Red Bull by mistake. He is what he is. Calves look, daughters look good. Really neat bulls in the system. Kalamazoo is going to be a little deeper, soggier, a little more power of a bull maybe than Jackson. I know that in Texas and South where Kalamazoo's been at Cito's, they've just been in love with him down there. Any of these other reds you guys want to touch base on? I know First Class is still around in our system, and he is headed to Ohio here soon. And out east to go breed cows. Anything else you guys want to hit on any of these Red Bulls, guys?
Luxury is dead and gone. It could be his last season in the catalog, depending on how much we move this year. But if you have a red customer that's looking for a teat and udder improver, Luxury is about as good as it gets for teat and udder composite.
Any other questions on reds? Moving to the Angus real quick here. Like we talked about the PAP. We debated when we were doing the catalog on which PAP EPDs to put in, and we did use the Leachman PAPs because we believe there's more truth in those than going through the Angus Association. But Longmire, came out of the Minders program. He is coming back from Billings here shortly. Hopefully we'll get a new picture on him as well too before he leaves here. There's supposed to be a repicture the handful of bulls we have in Billings next week. Just a great Angus bull. The Cavanese, the maternal and the growth, and great disposition. He was just a dream to be around. In the top percentile for ranch and feeders and profit. He's just a number burner for us. So him and Merritt both. Merritt's going to get, and he's getting, Merritt's getting repictured. We're going to see Merritt used a lot internationally as well too. Everybody is excited to get these two young Angus bulls going.
Russ, I just make a comment. We're trying. Obviously, this time of year, going through deciding what Leachman's going to breed cows to. Those Angus bulls will be used heavily again in our system. They're really, for their combination of traits, pretty interesting bulls. I think Merritt's strength is particularly on his claw. He's a huge outlier on claw. and still a really solid citizen on ranch. Longmire, of course, is off the charts on ranch for an Angus bull, and still has quite a bit of growth. I mean, we're going to find some other Angus cattle. Zach's got a sale coming up. He's got a couple of really high Angus bulls in there, but they're going to give up quite a bit of growth. And I think as you go out with the semen catalog, obviously one of the big things we fight is where to be on that yearling EPD, and it's real clear to us that the data is pushing against those high growth cattle on the fertility EPD. I mean, it's not that we're doing anything arbitrary to draw lines in the sand. That's what the system is saying about those cattle. It's saying, look, these high growth Angus cattle have way too much intake and they have way low fertility. And so when we can find bulls like this that are pretty solid competitors, we really like them, and you'll see us use them pretty heavily back in the Leachman program again this year.
Thanks, Lee. The rest of the spread of the Angus, high security, I'll say we are very limited on semen. We still have some available. We're pretty much pricing it at $50 a unit. But that's where he's at. Yeah, Lee?
Is he still alive?
No, he died last year.
Okay.
I have a question.
Donald Brown found that his progeny were pretty marketable, I believe. I don't know if Donald wants to make a comment.
I think you can unmute Donald if you want to.
I think his high selling bull was a high security. So.
Yes, it was. So very, very high in demand. I love the high securities. I love the daughters, beautiful teat and udder quality. Our high selling bull was a high security son that sold for, what do you bring, 90 something thousand as a black red Angus.
Wow.
Awfully cool.
So are you taking the rest of the semen that I got?
Go Donnell.
Are you going to take the rest of the semen that we have available?
I might, because I've got a bunch of babies on the ground and I want more.
Oh, we've got some.
How much do you have?
I'd have to pull it up. I'll pull it up after the call and let you know. I think I got like 500 maybe.
Okay, I won't need that much.
So we got enough for a while.
So what are you thinking on price on him?
We've been selling it at 50 is what I've been selling it for last year and this year.
Is that enough?
We can up him. And after a $90,000 son, I think we probably ought to. That's a call for offline.
You got 740 units today.
700.
Yeah.
So we can talk about that offline.
All right.
The Vercingetorix daughters, I mean, we are seeing those females really thrive in the system. We've seen them, and I mean, we're going to see those daughters around for a long time, and just can't say enough about the females we're making out of him. Another bull that, I mean, is just a fan favorite when people come. He is at the headquarters in Colorado still. I'll be honest, I collected him yesterday just because I felt bad for the old boy, and he just comes and works in like a gentleman and bellers and carries on when he's done, and he's just a fun dude to be around. So he did get hurt last year, a little stifled on cows, that he has healed himself from it, and you couldn't tell it today that he had gotten hurt. So another one's around a long time. The counter threat bull, he is the #1 Angus bull for feeder, top of our list. Great carcass bull for that. I believe the Swagger bull sold last week too, didn't he?
Yeah, we sold possession on him Wednesday as well, and man, he looks awesome. Those calves are stout.
Good.
Yeah, and I'm going to say disposition's going to be, slightly below average. He goes back to foundation, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I think so just kind of protect him there.
Yep. Yeah, the other point on Vercingetorix, of course, still is one of the all-time leaders on PAP. I think he's a real game changer on PAP. And Swagger's projected to be even lower, which is pretty cool. I mean, they're pretty unique bulls to have their overall package and do it with a ability to lower PAP.
Visionary Aaron Aaron, if you guys are looking for heifer project bull, I know he probably doesn't read his low birth weight as some, but Aaron has used him in several heifer project deals, large heifer project deals, and got along very, very well. Still, if you guys got to get pencil sharp for a project to get pencil sharp to sell semen, we can get pretty darn sharp on Visionary as a good heifer bull that'll make females that'll stick around too for a long time, and we can get sharp and sell it cheap. So, I didn't know anything else on these Angus bulls.
I have a question.
Yeah, Jared.
Do we have any Paragon semen left? I've had a few people call me and ask me.
Lee can. I don't know what we can move on that. Lee can probably answer that better. We do have semen on the.
I think we do, Jared. I think we do. We need to come up with a decision on where we're going to price that. But yeah, I think we are all free to act on that at this point.
Okay.
Yeah, we got semen. We can. Yeah.
Okay.
I guess we priced pretty stout, but I think we can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah. Good question, Jared.
Getting the Red Angus lineup. We brought in Donald's bull, Sure Thing. He is a freak numbered bull for the Red Angus. Don, you want to talk about him at all for us?
Yeah, I sure can. Yeah. Lee was at our sale year and a half ago and bought this bull and he is stout, super stout. I will tell you, I can't read it from here. What does it have on cavities for him in this book?
3.
No, he's at 10 cavities direct, minus 2.7 birth.
All right. So he just first calf data just went in. He went to a plus 14 cavities direct.
Wow,
and he got a pound lighter on birth. So that's kind of a game changer on him. I'm sure excited. Not a lot of calf data, but enough calf data to move him quite a bit. So super stout. We love the picture. I think it describes the bull really well. He is really slick hair coated. That picture's taken at the very farthest south point in Texas, right on the Mexican border. And that bull's super slick, which they love in that part of the world, with Taylor Schuster as a partner on that bull. His mother goes back to Surefire, high fertility, outstanding cow. We're going to use this bull heavily. We don't have a ton of semen on him right now. He's collecting, just got him into stud about 3 weeks ago. I sold every bit, and I've got a waiting list on from our sale on Wednesday. So he is producing good quality semen, just not a large volume at this time.
Sounds good. Hey, yeah, guys, we don't have, I don't have semen up here available right now. If you get an order for it, I will get in touch with Donald, get on the waiting list, and have it available as quick as we can. Wizard, that was a kind of a bull that was originally sold for an Australia deal, and the reason he was sold for Australia was the feed on him. It is, I know he's not a great numbered bull, and he's not going to improve numbers on a lot of things, but you want to talk about a bull that'll fix feet in the Red Angus. And I don't know, Aaron's seen him, Kurt's seen him. I think all of us have seen the bull. He is about as perfect as a foot use you could put on a Red Angus bull, period. So you guys got red cattle that need to fix feet, and there's a bull that can do it. Then we still got the control, the King Arthur, Oracle, and Patent. Just as the control is still, I think we're starting to run a little lower on semen on him. I think he's still all right for this year and probably next, and not gonna be around for a long time. But good red set of bulls for us to go on and use. Getting to the Charolais, you talk the lockdown bull is. He's in Fort Collins now, and I've been collecting him. I do not have frozen semen on him today. Maybe on Monday after they QC what happened this week. Hopefully he does freeze. He is right there on the bubble close. I know I have some orders already pending for him and back ordered, but I do not foresee any problems with him making it, and just need to get him going and get him rolling more.
Hey, Russ, for us. Make sure you put aside semen for us to use on you.
Oh, yep. That's the first on the back order already.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
No, that's first on the back order. So, but a great, really good Charolais bull. I mean, he is phenomenal package, big, stout, growthy, deep, and soggy. I mean, he just does a lot right. I think, we've had a lot of people come through, just look at other bulls, and they fall in love with him. He is pretty neat bull to see. Kilgore is still at headquarters too, as well. He was a good semen producer, so he's just kind of been hanging out here now for a while before he goes back out to breed cows this spring at Shad Bolts in Nebraska. Aaron, you want to talk? You've been kind of more to deal with Kilgore than anybody has.
Yeah, I haven't seen any calves out of the bull yet, but I'm eager to. I think he's a super pattern bull for a Charolais bull. It's going to be hard to pack much more phenotype into one than what Kilgore brings to the table. I think far above average for foot quality and super, super sound with a great disposition.
Yeah, really, really quiet to be around. I collected him yesterday too for him. So, others on the Charolais bulls, Lexington did die too. We are still decent on semen on him, but he did die. The Authority bull, Lexington, we can talk all day about it. I think you guys have seen him, used him. Most everybody's probably seen the bull and seen videos on him. Phenomenal bull. The Authority bull is really brought in for an international market for us. He had been out on cows. We got to really protect him on foot and stuff like. And that was the biggest thing to protect him on. But he's really for a terminal sire for an international markets while he's there. The other bulls have been mainstays in the system for quite a while. Any other Charolais comments?
Yeah, the Sir Marble bull, the Marble bulls have a little bit of a ride right now, being used around in various places, just because he's got so much spread between birth and yearling, and he's got an awful good TSI at 317. I don't know where he ranks, but he's 2% in a breed, so yeah. He's pretty useful kind of bull with that kind of terminal and still that kind of cavities.
We actually scored a couple of Sir Marble sons today that were extremely nice, really long bodied, big top, tons of muscle. They look like performance cattle.
I think one of those bulls going to get turned out with Charolais in our place.
I would advise that.
Yep.
So that's kind of the main of the catalog. We updated some pages, did some different things on the semen catalog this year. Hopefully you guys have it, in your hands, ready to roll. Inherit. We did a lot, we've talked a lot about Inherit. If you guys need any help, talking to your customers about Inherit testing their replacement efforts, any one of these guys would be happy to help you. I mean, all four of us enjoy it. Your regional regional sales reps can help you out. Whatever you need on that, we're all here as a team to help. Whoever you want to work with and talk to about getting Inherit and how to utilize that with your customers, we're happy to do that. So that's mainly. Any other questions on the semen lineup? I know it's a Friday night and you guys don't want to just hear us rattle, but any other questions on the semen lineup? They will get into the bull sale a little bit. It's the facility is coming along great. We're up there today. I mean, it's still a work in progress. As we've stated in the catalog and talked to you guys, we are not running bulls through the sale ring anymore. We are 100% video this year. All of the bull videos are uploaded on the platform on the leachman.com/sales, and go to the platform like you guys hopefully watch most of our regional sales we've had it on it. All of them will be videoed. Heifers or videos are all up. I'm missing a handful as of right now. Trying to get those finished up. There's 5 I think that I'm missing that'll be up line shortly. But the facility looks great. It's functional, works very well for getting bulls, to the place to evaluate them, the working facility, just the pens. You guys that have been through the sale in Fort Collins and you know how far you got to walk to look at bulls. Yeah, you don't have to do that anymore. The pin sizes are just phenomenal to look at cattle in the pins. They're going to be basically in 50 head pins, and I can't tell you how good of a dream it is to look through cattle there. It is absolutely phenomenal.
Russ exaggerates because there's only 32 head in the pen. So.
Oh, sorry. It's just,
but it looks but they're so good, it looks like 50.
It does. I mean, I feel like there's 50 in a pin and you can see them all. Right? And it's just easy to say. And I'm not saying 50 is overwhelming. It's like, man, this is cool. I love going through bulls there, guys. I mean, you can't say, anything better about the pins. I mean, today, I'll admit, was dusty, and Aaron's probably still digging out mud balls and dust balls out of his eyes. But, as far as looking at cattle, it's a whole different night and day looking at bulls before the sale. So. They'll be pinned up. So we call them the 10 head pins. They're actually 15 head pins at the top of the alleys, which will have some bulls sorted in those. And then we'll get into the bigger pins. They'll have 32 head in those pins going on down the lanes. The schedule you guys have seen. If you didn't, I don't remember where it was at on the next page. We did have the seminar that we had on the 6th that was pretty well attended on that. It is recorded. We've put the recording out on social media, and then it's on YouTube as well, so we can share that. And we're going to break it up into different sections as far as, each presenter that talked, that Lee interviewed. I mean, it was very insightful to hear it from ranchers' mouths directly about what the system is doing for them. So we'll be able to share that, and just watch it on social media and email blasts, and we'll be sharing more of that stuff.
Russ, if we can get that thing broken into pieces, I'd sure recommend that you guys consider having, new customers who maybe aren't fully up to speed on the system listen to it. It's a tremendous testimonial, and the guys are just talking in their own voices. And I think you'll find it that for somebody not familiar with the program, I think you'll find that will be really reassuring to them, because the people we have on there, Jim Tomlinson was on there, Brett Foster was on there. We had, I'm drawing a blank now. We had Steve Elliott, we had Coop Malloy, and we also had Clint on. And those guys did a great job talking about Inherit, talking about the system, talking about the data. I think almost everybody on that call uses AI, and that it's just a subtle thing. We didn't pick them that way, but they have, and they've got along great. And I think it's a strong piece of material that you can use for customers. It's one of those deals. I think you'll be able to just send them a link, right, Russ? And
yeah, so it's getting broke out right now. Cassidy's working on it. I thought she'd have it done this by now, but it's not done yet, I don't think. But yeah, it'll be broke out by each person. It's going to be phenomenal. We'll share the links, and I called it money when we got done. Lee called me. I said, "Man, that was money." I mean, it was very, very good information on them. So. And then we did, at the end of that, we did kind of talk about how to use the platform a little bit. I mean, hopefully most of you guys have been on some of our sales already and watched our regional sales. Just let your customers know if they're planning on buying at the sale this next weekend to get on and make sure they're registered. Even if they were registered before, it's going to make them verify with a credit card. It doesn't charge them. I don't see the information, but I do see on my list of buyers that if they've verified with a credit card, I see who has been verified. So if your customers have any problems, just have them get a hold of me, and we'll get them logged in and get them, able to bid. The night during the sale, I've got 2 other guys coming to run the platform, so I can, if emergencies arrived, I can help with those emergencies. So the schedule for the sale, I think it's going to be packed for 3 days, packed full of stuff. That Saturday before, we're going to have a cooperator meeting, and then we're going to have a pretty good educational event in that afternoon. Lee's going to talk about, how to read the sales catalog. to help customers kind of understand the starting system a little better and things like that. Craig's going to talk about scoring bulls, and this it says, just me and talking about the Herd Sire lineup, but we'll kind of talk as a team as far as going through some of the use bulls and the bulls that we've identified that we're going to use in our system, and some of the headline bulls for the sale. We'll kind of talk about those that evening.
Hey Russ, Mark has a question.
Yeah, go ahead, Mark. I did see that, Mark. Sorry. I think you can unmute and then go, Mark. You're not you're not unmuted, Mark.
There you go, Mark. Oh, no.
I've allowed it. You should just be able to hit your unmute button up top, Mark, I think. Okay.
Aaron, you might just give Mark a call and ask him if he wants to. Well, I guess you can't. You're on your call on the deal. Never mind.
Yeah, Mark.
Russ,
Yeah.
little birdie told me that this is going to be the biggest RSVP of any spring sale we've ever had. We're running out of room.
Yeah, it's going to be full. I mean, I can't remember, and I don't want to say probably how many people that was built to for capacity, and from what is RSVP, we've already surpassed that. We are putting a tent up too as well outside. Hopefully you guys that are coming and your customers that are coming have RSVP'd. We will not be turning away a customer that's coming to eat. Aaron and I can go without eating. But we make sure if they haven't to let us know now if somebody's coming. But yes, it's going to be packed. It's going to be a packed house. It's going to be a lot of fun. A lot of people coming especially for Sunday night, but through all the sales. I mean, I don't know, Jared, you talked to more customers than probably anybody.
How many people we got now at the RSVP? I think we're just shy of 450.
450.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's about the seminar. It will, like I said, I think I've shared it some, but we'll share those recordings again, especially after getting broke out. We've added those same. Go ahead, Lee.
No, I mean, the other thing I'd say on the RSVP, if you do know somebody who's coming, it's important we get them on the list if they're a customer. If we get a whole bunch of people walk in locally, we will have to turn people away because we will run out of food. We obviously don't want to do that with customers. So to the extent that you can get the customers on the list, then we know that they'll have a spot there. So it is important to still turn that in if we have it.
Yeah.
It is going to be nice weather. It's going to be a little breezy, but other than that, at 20 miles an hour, you were at about 30 miles an hour today, I think, Russ, right?
Yeah, it was 30.
That's a fine line. At 20, it's very pleasant. At 30, it's unpleasant.
Yeah. Hopefully you guys all have the catalogs already for the sale. As we kind of, we always name the use bulls that are going to get used in the cooperator. We did this year kind of name the next tier of bulls too, that we kind of want to highlight for cooperators that, hey, these are bulls that we thought a lot of too, that just were on the bubble. In the past, we've kind of brought in about 20 bulls for the use bulls. This year, we did really only bring in 12 bulls to collect semen on. And so those are the kind of the next level of bulls that are close to that bubble to come into our system. And it's not saying that we don't, find bulls to come into the system that were later down in the sale or not named. It was we found them before that way too. So I just want real quick, we're going to talk about the lot 1 and 31 bull. We are syndicating those bulls. And so this is an ad, and I will email these ads out to you everybody after this call. So we're going to sell, like the lot 1 bull is going to sell. We're going to sell 1 season of use on him. So if you can get either spring or fall, but not both. But if they buy possession and say they want spring possession, they won't get spring possession until 2026. The first available possession for him to be used as for a buyer, it would be the fall of 25. And then we're selling semen syndication packages on it. With the same prices go for lot 1 and 31 both. They're both, top profit, top ranch, top feeder bulls. 50 units will be sold at $70 per unit. 100 units at $60. And then if one customer wants to buy 300 units, then it goes down to $35. We will not be selling split packages. So if, you got somebody who wants 50 units and his neighbor wants 50 units, they each got to buy 50 unit packages. One person can buy a 100 unit package. That's fine. But we will not split them on our end. And obviously the 300 unit packages, it's not for somebody to buy it and go resell it. That will not be allowed or put up with. And it's a 2-year deal. I mean, if a person buys in a syndicate, let's say they buy 50 units this year, they can buy another 50 units next year at the same price. No matter how much they buy this year, they can buy into next year. We won't sell them publicly until after 2 years before we'll start selling those bulls publicly and domestically. The Red Bull lot 31, same deal. We are selling both possession, spring and fall on him, as long as we get him in between to collect semen on. But it's still same thing as that possession. The first possession he is able to be used by the buyer will be the fall of 25. So that way we can get him into stud and get more semen collected on him. Both bulls are producing semen, and so we should be in good shape. We have already sold, I believe 3 packages already. 2 on the Red Bull or 2 on the Black Bull, 1 on the Red Bull. I can't remember now. We've sold 3 or 4 packages already. So it's rolling, people. We just kind of unveiled this morning, basically last night, this morning. And so we're already getting packages moved. Those are going to be 2 really good highlight bulls. That Red Bull, I mean, we've also, I think all of us have seen him. If he was black, he'd be leading the sale. Just phenomenal. Both of those bulls are phenomenal bulls. Over $40,000 profit. We decided we really need to up the semen values on these high dollar bulls that are going to be game changers for the industry and for the stabilizers. So if you got any questions on those, feel free to contact me or any of the reps. We kind of all know about these bulls well. They're going to be collected in Fort Collins one more time next week before they head to Wyoming. And then they'll be up there on display the rest of the week.
When will they get up there, Russ?
Tuesday afternoon.
Okay. Yeah. And those, if the reps sell shares in those, that is commissionable, right?
We have never talked about that, Lee. I believe so. If you believe that,
I believe that.
So, Kurt was asking. Kurt was asking. So, guys, that's a good way to make some really high amounts of commission. So,
how come it wasn't commissionable last year?
We did not commission it last year.
Who did that? Who was in charge? Golly.
I don't know, but that
I'm going to call that whatever.
He's probably on the phone.
I can't hear you. I lost connection. Yeah.
So this year we are going to make it commissionable, guys. So.
Yeah, it's not commissionable to cooperators, but it's commissionable to non-cooperators, right?
Yes. Yeah. And there's a different. I mean, if there are cooperators on here, I will hopefully email that out tonight, what those pricing structure is for the cooperators. And if you reps have cooperators that are interested, just have them let me know, or let Kurt or Aaron or Jared know as well. Any others on the bull sale you guys, Lee, want to hit? Or?
Yeah, I think we should go into the sale kind of knowing where we think we are. I think our expectation is that the spring sale will average around 9,000. I think we average close to that on the on the early bird sale. I think Loma was 8,000. I think being 1,000 up from Loma is about where the spring sale typically is. I think it will be really difficult to buy these good bulls. I think these good bulls are going to bring more than they've ever brought. I think that's happening everywhere around the industry. And so you need to be prepared for that. I think my low ball customers are fishing around $6,000 and $7,000. And I think there will be bulls buyable for that, but I don't think you'll be able to be a choosy buyer for that. I think you're going to have to, kind of take what you get in that category. But and I think we've got a lot of people coming, and we've got a lot of people interested in females as well. So I don't know where the female thing will be. Of course, with the market the way it is today, with what those heifers are weighing, they're worth, in the mid twos just to weigh them up. And a really nice set of heifers all the way through. There's some really, really usable heifers. So I think we, we should be set up to have a pretty good sale, I would think.
Yeah, it sure feels like it from our side that, there's bulls and heifers. I mean, I know Aaron and Kurt and I and Jerry were all talking today about how many people, what we had kind of on a list. We're running a list of kind of what we know of that people are coming for, large groups of animals, and it's a pretty extensive list. So it's going to be good. So that's what I had for you guys tonight. I mean, be happy to stay on here and answer any questions if anybody else has more questions, but I didn't want to take up much more time than an hour, and we kind of got it in. So hopefully you guys are coming. I think the majority of the sales team, if you haven't booked rooms and stuff, the majority of the sales team and cooperators are going to stay at the Little America in Cheyenne. If you are coming, I kind of recommend you go there. I mean, is where most of those guys are going to stay at, just for the camaraderie aspect of talking to the other sales reps and customers. Kind of we've pushed some of the bigger customers to stay there as well. So it'll be a fun, good week. Go ahead, Jared.
I have a question for you, Lee. In your opinion, the Angus heifers that are being sold, do you think they're worthy of a purebred guy? I mean,
absolutely, Jared. Yeah, there's some. I mean, from a dollar ranch standpoint, they're an awful nice set of Angus heifers.
Yeah, and that's okay.
Yeah, and they're an age group sort. They are the top of their contemporary group. I think they're very nice. Yeah.
Good. All right.
Yeah, Jared, I looked at a couple of them today, and they're nice, really nice Angus heifers. Really nice heifers.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, and remember that's an offering we really haven't had and anywhere near that volume, because obviously we're selling the Hopple Diamond heifers, and there's what is there 100 Angus heifers in the spring sale, right? Jared, is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, 93.
Yeah, it's right there.
Yep.
Okay.
And on the bulls, guys, I don't think, from what I'm gathering and hearing, I mean, last year, we saw quite a few bulls not pass BSE, or not. I shouldn't say quite a few, more than we probably have expected or liked. We're not going to see that this year. There's the breeding soundness exams have went phenomenally well. Most of the bulls, I think, are going to be in the sale.
Good.
So
sell them all.
Thank you, everybody, for getting on. That's what I've got. And yeah, Kyle, I did get your email. I haven't had a chance to look at it. Kyle, did you want us to talk about it now? Kyle, it was about helping you find bulls in your area. Jared and I will set up a call with you. We've already kind of burned an hour, so Jared and I will set up a call with you this weekend or first of the week, and we'll talk to you, Kyle, on that then, about helping you find some bulls. So thanks, everybody, for getting on. Appreciate your time, and look to have an exciting, fun selling season for semen and bulls and females. And, we've got a lot of sales added this year that'll be coming out through a lot of our sales. We added, we'll have the Hobble Diamond Dispersal Angus sale, female sale in May. We added a Dollar Ranch sale in May. And an Ohio sale and different things. So we're in a Florida sale. We've added new sales this year and be a lot of fun. So
Dollar Ranch sale.
All right.
Hey, thank you all.
Guys.
Look forward to seeing you at the sale.
Thanks, Don. See you then.
Thanks, Don.
Yeah.
Thanks, everybody.